What's up, y'all? It's Saturday. Just ran some errands, got some 1/16 6013 rods to try out on the Composter, and then got some cool clamps. I'll show y'all in a second. But here are the blackberries. They're coming back quite nicely. I originally planted 28 of them. They're Kiowas. I think probably like 25 or 26 have made it. I guess probably almost a year now. Here's the clamps. Let me grab those. So I got these at Harbor Freight. Package deal for like 11 bucks or something like that. They're really going to help me with welding. This is a goofy ass looking vice grip, but how it works is you put each piece of metal under each one of those little, whatever you would call them, prongs, and it holds the metal down in place for you to tack it. And this is kind of something similar for sheet metal. Those are going to help me out a lot because I didn't really have any clamps, and I've just been kind of like holding stuff with one hand. But I don't have like an auto darkening lens, so like I need more hands. Composter is all rusty, and I haven't cleaned any of the welds and stuff like that yet. So today is the day where I'm just gonna go at it and take as much of that rust and extra stuff off. Might need a second section, but I'm gonna see if I can get it done today. And then books have been doing well. I'm a bit ahead in inventory, so I haven't been sourcing for like a week, but that seems to be pretty sustainable, and there's more sources of books between all the Austin Goodwills, the bins, garage sales, estate sales. Like, there's more books than I could ever get, period. So I don't have to worry about scarcity of supply. So now that I know that, I mean, I always kind of knew that, but like, don't really feel it until you have like touched all the sources and stuff like that. But things are going pretty well. I'm really liking stick welding. Although if you go probably less than 1/8 of an inch, which is something that I've learned with this project, is stick welder, like the electrodes from the stick welds tend to blow holes because it's just doesn't do well on thin metal or thinner metals. So to complement that, I've been doing a lot of research on Tig Welding, which stands for tungsten inert gas welding, which is kind of a similar concept. If you're not familiar, instead of the electrode, which is covered in flux, getting used up and dribbled into the metal, whatever you want to say, it has like a tungsten tip that acts as the electrode and arcs between the metal, and then you add, but that doesn't get used up, and you add filler rod. So that is something that you can work on thinner metals with, from what I have researched. And I'm going to buy a argon bottle and regulator and torch head with a little like tube, and it has an electrical wire in it. probably at an assortment of like pawn shops slash wherever else I can find like good used equipment. But yeah, that's pretty much like where I'll be headed with my learnings in the next, like, over the next month plus. Definitely gonna be doing stick welding throughout, but I'm just adding TIG welding as well. So I'm gonna try out some of the 1/16 electrodes today. I'll show you guys what those look like. Alright, here is what the composter looks like before. Alright, that's all fucked up. I'm not gonna patch that yet. So I took the grinder to a little bit up here, and then I started with the wire wheel, and it takes it off pretty well, but it takes a while. So this is just kind of like a starter project. So I think what I'm gonna do is I've got a bunch of leftover house paint, so I'm just gonna paint the outside of this thing so it looks nice, and what rust there is on the inside I don't believe will hurt the garden, because like iron oxide is already in a lot of soils and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clean the welds up on like here and here, and then I'm gonna paint this thing as well. And as I said before, painting over rust is not what you really want to do, but this is kind of a semi-permanent learning project, so it'll do. Oh, but one thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna test the 1/8 inch 6013s that I got. Those might work on that, or they might just blow some more holes. Let's see what they look like. So it turns out that the 6013s, even at 20 amps on the 16th inch rod, just blow holes in this super thin metal, like all in here. I just made it worse. So instead of wasting a bunch of time on it, I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit, paint it, and throw some dirt in it. Alright, so I found some of this, which is pretty cool. And so that's a little preview of what it's gonna look like. I gotta take all this like chipping paint off and stuff like that, but I'm thinking do that tomorrow, and then possibly see if this yellow is any good still, and use that for trim.